So Caitlin Clark appears on the Bird and Taurasi show, and there is a lot of fun banter that comes out of it, including Taurasi herself calling out reality is coming.
Remember?
Diana Taurasi once said, "Reality is coming for Caitlin Clark." However, that reality unfolded in an unexpected way when Clark appeared on Taurasi's show. What was anticipated as a tense encounter quickly shifted into a surprising moment of mutual respect. Taurasi, the WNBA legend who had previously downplayed Clark's abilities, openly called her extraordinary during the interview. This shift in perspective left viewers wondering what Clark said that made Taurasi reconsider her previous stance. The answer speaks volumes about both players. Clark's confidence and skill evidently won Taurasi's respect, turning the conversation from potential tension into an acknowledgement of greatness.
Unfortunately, reality is coming to me now.
Do you remember when Diana Taurasi's words set basketball Twitter on fire? It all started during a routine ESPN broadcast when Scott Van Pelt asked Taurasi about how rookies, including Caitlin Clark, would handle the transition to the WNBA. Instead of offering a typical "they'll be great" answer, Taurasi responded with unmistakable confidence, "Reality is coming." Those three words instantly sparked a controversy that no one expected, igniting a fierce debate across the basketball community. What seemed like a simple question soon set the stage for a generational tension between Taurasi, the WNBA legend, and Clark, college basketball's brightest star, leaving fans eager to see how this rivalry would unfold.
There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
The basketball world quickly split, with fans rallying to defend Caitlin Clark, who was shattering college records and leading Iowa through the NCAA tournament. At the same time, Clark was breaking viewership records, drawing unmatched attention to women's basketball. Taurasi's comments came at a pivotal moment, fueling the already heated debate.
A lot of Caitlin Clark fans thought that Taurasi was diminishing Caitlin Clark's ability to accomplish things and any sort of dominance that she might have that would translate over from her college career into the pros. As in college, nobody was doing what Caitlin Clark was doing. And the thing is nobody was doing the things Caitlin Clark was doing at the WNBA level too.
Social media quickly erupted with debate. Supporters of Taurasi argued she was simply being realistic about the tough transition to the WNBA, pointing out how different the professional game is. Others took a different view, suggesting Taurasi might feel threatened by Clark's growing popularity, fueled by massive NIL deals and extensive media coverage that had changed the landscape of women's basketball. The divide was clear.
I think that because it has been such a significant change for so many people, Taurasi just kind of assumed, it's going to be hard for her too.
The perceived rivalry went beyond basketball. Taurasi symbolized the old guard, the WNBA veterans who had fought for recognition, while Clark represented a new wave, bringing mainstream attention to the sport. Every potential interaction between them sparked intense speculation. Then, the unexpected announcement came. Caitlin Clark would appear on the Bird and Taurasi show. Fans were shocked. Why would Clark sit down with someone who had questioned her future success? Everyone braced for tension, anticipating a potential confrontation that could make headlines.
And I think a lot of fans were surprised by Diana Taurasi's comments after Sue Bird had announced that Caitlin Clark would be on the show. She talked about how Caitlin's grown, and she even said, "Boy, Caitlin's great."
The stage was set for what many expected to be an uncomfortable showdown. Would Taurasi revisit her reality comment? Would Clark defend herself? The basketball world held its breath as these two stars, separated by a generation yet united by their influence on the game, prepared to meet. But instead of the anticipated confrontation, something unexpected unfolded. It was Clark's remarkable poise that stunned viewers, leaving them to completely reconsider what they thought they knew about this so-called rivalry. The outcome surprised everyone, reshaping the narrative entirely.
All right, guys, I don't know if you saw, but this is turning into a little bit of a blowout. A little bit of
Oh my God.
We are going to take a look at some memories. Caitlin versus Dee in the All-Star game in Phoenix. As Diana likes to call it, the ultimate.
That's a setup game.
It's a setup game.
The moment Clark appeared on the Zoom call, the atmosphere shifted. Everyone seemed to hold their breath. She appeared reserved at first, choosing her words with care. The basketball world watched closely, expecting a potentially tense moment. After all, Diana Taurasi had previously made headlines with dismissive remarks about rookies transitioning to the pros. But what followed surprised everyone. Instead of tension, Taurasi offered glowing praise, calling Clark amazing and extraordinary. The unexpected reversal caught even Clark off guard. What could have been an uncomfortable exchange turned into a respectful and even warm interaction. Taurasi's gracious words set a positive tone, transforming the moment into one of mutual respect and admiration.
I'd like for you two to play against each other.
It was amazing. You know, I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court and, you know, the first game was in Phoenix and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and you know, our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, you know, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot.
When the infamous reality was brought up, the most controversial moment of last season, Taurasi didn't flinch. Instead of getting defensive, she lightened the mood with a self-deprecating joke. Unfortunately, reality is coming to me now. That single line broke the tension. Laughter erupted between Taurasi and Bird, and any lingering awkwardness quickly faded, turning the moment into something unexpectedly light and genuine.
And I, for one, was just waiting for the reality is coming nod. I thought maybe Caitlin Clark would use her like dry-witted sense of humor to call it out, or that Diana Taurasi herself would make some sort of like wisecrack, which is exactly what happened.
Clark's confidence steadily grew during the interview. What began with reserved answers and cautious body language shifted into ease and engagement. As she relaxed, her responses became more animated, and she held her own alongside Taurasi and Bird. It felt like watching a rookie find her rhythm in real time, embracing the moment with quiet confidence.
And all we heard that whole week was like, Indiana, they don't get along, you know, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
The most revealing moment came when Clark was asked about facing Taurasi on the court. With a quick smile, she replied, "Better than playing with us." The remark, a nod to her recent comeback win against Taurasi's Phoenix Mercury, was sharp yet respectful. Without sounding boastful, Clark subtly asserted her competitive edge, an example of poised confidence delivered with just the right touch of humor and timing.
It was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was like our first like win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
What started as potentially uncomfortable television quickly evolved into a compelling exchange between two basketball generations. Instead of tension or animosity, viewers witnessed mutual respect unfolding in real time. The conversation moved effortlessly between insightful basketball talk and moments of humor, breaking down any preconceived media-driven narratives. At the center of it all was Caitlin Clark, composed and confident, showing a level of maturity that rivals her on-court talent. Rather than shrinking in the presence of Diana Taurasi, she rose to the occasion, proving she not only belongs in the WNBA but also in meaningful conversations with the sport's legends, both in terms of skill and presence.
I thought it was very interesting, just the dynamic of how Caitlin Clark balances being so well media trained and so well spoken and classy with also being such a kid. And I think it's that composure, what she does on the court, with how she handles herself off the court, that really propelled Caitlin Clark into the phenomenon that she is today.
While the basketball world braced for conflict between the two stars, they overlooked the real moment that mattered. When Clark looked at Taurasi not as a rival, but as a mentor. It was a subtle yet powerful shift, signaling respect and a willingness to learn from one of the game's greats.
It's hard to stop all of that. So I think if one of their players can get hot here and give them a little spark, I think would be great. But yeah, and then obviously having Camilla, like that made it.
In perhaps the most revealing moment of the entire interview, Clark embraced the chance to learn from one of the game's all-time greats. With genuine curiosity, she turned to Taurasi and asked what advice she'd give to someone just beginning their WNBA journey. It was a powerful gesture, Clark openly acknowledging Taurasi's legacy and showing humility and eagerness to grow. Taurasi's response was brief but deeply meaningful: play as long as possible. In just those few words, she offered a reminder of longevity, passion, and resilience, qualities that define greatness. It was a quiet but profound exchange between rising star and seasoned legend.
What's your big plans? What are you going to do?
You know, I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll...
Taurasi's advice carried the weight of 2 decades of experience at the highest level. In just a few words, she recognized Clark's potential, subtly telling her that she has what it takes to build a lasting legacy in the WNBA. The sincerity and respect with which Taurasi delivered that message transformed what many expected to be a rivalry into something far more meaningful, a symbolic passing of the torch. Coming from someone who has dominated the league for 20 years, those words held immense significance. When Taurasi told Clark to play as long as possible, it wasn't just advice, it was validation. It was a seasoned legend acknowledging that the league's next great star has arrived. And for Clark, it marked a powerful moment of acceptance from one of the sport's most iconic figures.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say.
That's right. The conversation took a playful turn when Clark joked that her goal for the season was to limit herself to just 2 technical fouls. The comment had everyone laughing, revealing her sharp self-awareness. It showed that Clark understands the emotional demands of the pro game while still keeping her sense of humor intact.
You have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like, it's more than half of our roster. Like, that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good. And like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group.
The conversation soon turned to Clark's rookie season with the Indiana Fever, and her excitement was unmistakable. She lit up while talking about teaming up with veterans like Natasha Howard, highlighting how much she values their experience and leadership. It was clear she's eager to learn and grow alongside seasoned professionals.
Even Kels, like obviously with being with the Fever during her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So I'm excited, and obviously Steph is like one of the smartest basketball minds I've ever been around. And
her voice clearly reflected how eager she is to learn from seasoned players, a true sign of her humility, openness, and desire to grow both on and off the court.
You're trying to get stronger, like a lot of time in the weight room, and it's like something like I kind of enjoy, so it's been pretty easy for me to like spend time in there. And
when asked about her off-season priorities, Clark didn't hesitate. She's focused on building strength in the weight room to handle the physical demands of the pro level. Her dedication is clear, and she's taking the transition seriously.
You know, I think the biggest thing on the court is just like that mid-range area. Like I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there, whether that's like, I didn't really have any floater. I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot. So just getting more comfortable, like when I get my feet kind of into the paint, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game and, you know, finishing through contact and little things like that.
She's specifically working on her mid-range game and adding a floater to complement her deep shooting. This smart adjustment shows she's not just training, she's thinking ahead, evolving her game for the next level.